Hello everyone and welcome to today's video about 3 normal mistakes that beginners make. And first, let's come up with our first and very asked question is that when should we trade pieces? So I've set up this random position for us. So this is the Queen's Gambit decline, which is mostly seen in the intermediate or the beginners levels. I don't think this is really that popular, so I could do a normal 4 nights games, or we could have a worksheet piano, which is a lot more common in these beginners sections. But I think this is right for now. So first, let's look into the position. We have the knight here, the bishop here, and the pawns here. The knight and the black's bishop can be traded, but should we trade them though? That is the question here. So to win a game, you need to get a solid position over your opponents. So for now it's black's turn, and it will be very good to take pieces at these paces, like the knight in the centers are very good. Knights on f3, c3, c6, and f6 are not really that much of a problem, but you still need to trade them off if you are going for an attack or if you are having tactical ideas and the knight is getting in the way. I recommend you to trade the knights at e5, e4, d4, and d5 if that's your opponent's knight. And if your knight is in the center, try to keep it there. Or maybe if they want to offer a trade, then try to do something like f4, or maybe bishop f4 to guard the knight here in this example. Or you should try to offer another trade, like sometimes taking the other pieces and trying to lock down their position. In this case, I think taking on d5 might be the best moves, because a big take I could take back on e5 and we have this beautiful pin going on, so that would be winning. So try to look at tactical positions like that, and you will have a better chance at winning. Next, let's look into the bishop. So if the bishop is clogged up like this and not opened up in a free line, then it is not worth your blood. So this bishop here is actually very weak because it cannot move. It can only move back to c8, and after trading, the knight could go over to a4. But that is not good enough. The bishop here on f8 is also not an option to trade. Even if we play g6 and bishop g7, is still going to be clogged up in the mess here, so he could not really do much. So the bishops here are not really that worth of anything. But if you are up for an attack, like I've said, and you want to try it out, then sure, you could take it. But normally, you shouldn't trade it in tactical positions or normal openings. The next problem we got here is getting sandwiched by your pieces. Look into this position and tell me what you see. So we got a double bishop and knight sandwich here. It is absolutely pinned. I took this from an example of the French defense, which is one of my favorite openings for the advanced levels. I would recommend you to play something like more open, like the Sicilian, or to play just the normal thing and try not to get attacked, just like playing on the variation of the worksheet piano or trying to trade off the center pawns. But in here, we got a very close position. So I recommend you not to clock up your pieces by moving them forward. So in this position here, we are looking at a very strange one. So normally we are gonna have something like this, right? So if you want to not clog up your pieces, then maybe first you should go bishop up and try to pin the knight and try to evaluate the position here. So the knight here is going for the pawn, so it's attacking it. So normally we want to go knight f6, but that just puts on the attack. And I think that one normal move here to play is that we should just try not to sandwich our pieces and try to like develop them, like find a better way. Try to open up the position with something like c5 here, take, and we can push a bishop away and move the knight out and move the bishop out and try to reach out to your pieces and try to get them free. If they're clogged up like this, they're pretty useless and we couldn't do much without like 4 pieces. You know what I mean? So sandwiching pieces is a very big problem. Try to play like cleanly and freely and openly. Don't try to play the closed stuff if you're not used to it. And if they're trying to do this, or just try to put pressure on your pieces, then try to open it up with some moves like f6 here is acceptable, but don't play too like ridiculous moves like to play like h6 and g5 because the bishop here is blocked. So try to find a route to get your pieces out. Don't make them stay at home. They'll be sad and then you'll lose. Up to the next thing is back rank mates. How do you prevent these? So as we got here an example, normally people would see 3 pieces and they would take it, right? I mean, sure, they would take it. So we got this guy here very, very hungry. So he take the bishop on e4, and you see how fast the bar goes up? I mean, it is very important to try and take others' pieces, but we shouldn't go hungry and try to take them all. Sometimes we should look for the hanging pieces and what are they trying to do. So always open up a window to your king. In this situation, I recommend g6 as the bishop is blocking h7, but here h6 would be totally fine. But if he moves the bishop, then you're gonna have to go g6. That is the first thing that you should do. Then the next thing is, if you are not opening up your windows, try to put a bishop on f8 or on g7 or on h6. So basically on the diagonal here, so it can cover your king. If there is like surprise attacks like rook a here, you don't get mated, but you gotta protect her to protect your king from losing the game. The next thing here is that try to cover up the squares that they could go down and attack. For example, we should cover the square of c8 because the rook there has the potential to go there and checkmate us. So try to cover that square or try to move the king out of the back right mate. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope it will help you guys improve in the near future. Thank you.